What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you guys are having a good start to the week so far. In today's video, we're going to be doing a raid roundup for 2025. It's going to be a video where we reflect and talk about all things that have happened in the past year. Now, there's going to be a couple questions along the way for myself, so feel free to comment on them in the comments below. I'd be interested to hear of your opinions of my opinions, so be sure to let me know in the comments. So first things first, there is going to be a giveaway attached to this video. I'll give you guys the details at the end of the video. There's going to be 5 winners for some goodies here, so stay tuned for all that. So let's get started here. So the first question here is going to be, what are the 3 raid highlights of the year? Now, this was actually a pretty good year for Raid, in my opinion. I thought a lot of things kept me engaged. There was a lot of things good. A lot of big content was being released and all that. It definitely felt busy. But I'm going to narrow it down to 3 things that have happened that I felt were very, very impactful. I think the first thing we're going to talk about is the free gear removal. I think that is a game, like in the history of Raid, this is probably the biggest change, because the removal of gear cost, the silver cost for changing out gear is actually massive, because this was one of the biggest bottlenecks, one of the biggest complaints about this game. It's very restrictive. It doesn't allow you to, kind of change builds and just basically play around with different sets and all that. And it heavily penalizes new players for equipping gear, not knowing which gear sets to use in the beginning. That heavily penalizes new players, because silver is so restrictive, especially in the beginning of the game. So having that completely removed, the silver cost, is obviously a massive change. I never thought I would see that, and they did that this year, which is huge. Personally speaking, I think silver cost for equipping and unequipping gear is probably one of the biggest silver sinks that they have in the game, outside of just straight up like leveling all your gear. So having that fully removed is just massive for everybody in the game. So that to me is one of the biggest quality of lives of all time in this game, and that happened during this year. Another big highlight for this year, for 2025, actually happened very recently, and I'm going to talk about the Grim Forest here. I think this content is absolutely amazing because, first of all, it's not as restrictive as other areas in the game. I think it's very, very rewarding. It's interesting. It's actually pretty fun. Searching for things, and obviously there's lots of other attributes to this game. Like, you can increase your stats with the trait cards. You can increase your curios, different stats and abilities here as well. And like I said, this is very engaging and very fun. The map's going to be changing every month as well, which is going to add more dynamic play. And as I mentioned, it's quite accessible. Like, the difficulty level is not too crazy, not that it's going to restrict everyone from trying it. So I do think this is a pretty slam dunk piece of content here from Raid. It gives you a bunch of extra goodies without having to cost you, additional energy, for example. It just costs you additional time. But you do get some pretty good goodies in here just to basically expand your pool of resources that you can use for other things, like events, like fusions and all that stuff. Like, for example, there's energy here, there's brews here. This resource is going to help you guys out in fusions and events, right? So that's really, really nice to see. This level of content, the Grim Forest, definitely a huge thumbs up for me. And I would say the third big highlight for this year that happened sometime in March was actually the introduction of Live Arena seasonal play. I actually thought this was actually a pretty good update here. Live Arena in general was kind of getting a little bit stale, of course. So adding the seasonal play and then attaching more rewards to the seasonal play, obviously increased a bit of interest into Live Arena. Now, I understand Live Arena is not, everybody's cup of tea. Some people really dislike this format, and that's totally fine. It's totally optional format, I think. But I do like the seasonal play. I do like the reset. I do like the additional rewards attached to the seasonal play. I do like that monthly climb, the grind. It just felt more purpose driven, as opposed to having no seasonal play where you're just kind of just grinding just to increase your score, for example, your point score. Now, it's getting kind of crazy where people are just getting insane amounts of scores. This is just the general, seasonal is not on right now, but just for the general leaderboard, this is just getting absolutely absurd. So they have to deal with this general point score eventually. But during the seasonal format, that all doesn't matter, right? That all doesn't matter. We're just all aiming for the rewards. And it's really nice to see that Plarium is kind of giving a little bit more love to like arena PvP. They've expanded, like, you know, the top 100 to the top 500. They're going to make live arena 24/7 eventually as well. They've expanded the blocks of time where you can play. So they're definitely looking into this format. And I think for 2026, they're actually going to probably do a little bit more with it. I'm really hoping, because I do feel that live arena is a very interesting and probably the end game area where people would play and try to test their accounts, right? So I thought that was a bit of a highlight, at least for myself. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. And I would say for a fourth highlight as a runner up, I would say the Minnow, the super raids for Minnow. That's real long time coming, guys. Long time coming. Super raids on Minnow. There's no reason not to do it. Like, you're just penalizing like the lowest player, right? The lowest denominator player, by not allowing the super raids here. If anything, the Minotaur stages should be up to 25 by now. Stage 15 doesn't really make any sense, but the increased, the halving of the time for the Minotaur runs is awesome, right? It's awesome. So can't really complain about that. I don't know how many people actually run Minotaur nowadays. Personally speaking, I still run Minotaur. I've never ever used gems to buy masteries. It just doesn't make sense for me. Like, I can spare like an hour or whatever it takes nowadays. I don't actually know. It's like 30 minutes or an hour, somewhere around there, to do masteries for a champion, and then you just make a little bit of extra resources and XP along the way. That sounds good to me. So I would say Minotaur Super Raids would be a runner-up, special mention there. All right, so the next big question here, it's going to be 3 fellow raid CCs who have helped to bright up this year in raid for you. You know what? I'm going to focus on I'm going to focus on positivity and kindness. So I'm going to say the 3 content creators that expressed to me unsolicited kindness and positivity, without expecting anything back or anything like that. I'm going to say Nubkex, Ash, and I'm going to say Fastidious. All 3 of these guys on separate occasions, unprovoked, unsolicited, they offered, words of encouragement. For example, I was pulling my primal shards, or 2x primal was popping up, and one of these guys just said, "I hope you get something nice." And that's really nice, right? Like, obviously they know of my primal situation, my mythical situation, and they just wish me good luck. And that's really nice, right? You take the time out of their day just to be positive, to be kind, when they don't really have to. And I do appreciate that. So thank you guys. Quick shout out to those guys. Just good guys there. Not saying anybody else is not, but these guys, like I said, unsolicited kindness that they didn't have to. So I do appreciate that. So thank you guys. All right. So the next thing is 3 personal raid achievements. 3 personal raid achievements. Okay. So I'm not sure if it's an achievement, but we did get our first mythical champion this year from Primal Shards, and that's going to be Garo Bloodmaul. We got her from our 204th Primal Shard, and that took almost 2 years to get, about 21 months to get. Obviously free to play, can't buy the shards or whatever. But yeah, a little bit painful. But then I guess this is an achievement to get this, to be in the game for that long, to farm up all those shards. But yeah, it's a little bit disappointing, but yeah, it's a little bit of a meme here. So that's, I guess, achievement number 1. Achievement number 2, I would say, again, ties into live arena. Basically every month since they implemented live arena seasonal play, I've been able to get the top milestone. It's a bit of a grind to get the top milestone reward for seasonal play. I wish they had the seasonal play rewards here. Sorry guys, it's not showing. But it's a bit of a grind. You do have to stick to it every day unless you want to spend, extra gems or whatever, which I don't really like spending. So I think that's a little bit of an achievement for myself, just because it's, it's a regular daily grind thing that I try to keep myself doing. And for the most part, I enjoy the live arena. Live arena is way more interesting now with seasonal play. At least I speak for myself personally. So that would be my second achievement. My third achievement, let's talk about my YouTube channel as a content creator. This is the first year that I did basically a full year as the tier 3 content creator, basically being as regular, as consistent as possible throughout the year. I think throughout the year, maybe I missed like a handful of days without uploading a video, which is actually insane because I went on vacation and all that stuff as well. So it's actually pretty nuts. So I do take pride that I do take it a little bit more seriously. You know, it's not my full-time gig, so, you know, I don't have to take it seriously, but I try to. So I do feel it's a little bit of achievement that I was able to stick it out for at least, you know, my first full-time year. Um, so I thought that was pretty interesting after looking at some of the stats. All right, guys, onto our giveaway details here. So first of all, we got 5 winners that will be getting a legendary book, 5-star chicken, XP boost, 400 energy, and 200 multi-battles. So 5 winners from this video here, and I will make it as easy as possible for everybody. These giveaways are not super easy all the time, so I will say just post your UMID in the comments below. Make sure you guys put some highlights, right? What do you guys like about Raid from 2025? Put some comments in the comments. Don't just put your UMID. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, we'll do the draw, 5 winners, get all these goodies, and no announcement or anything. I'm just gonna send it to you guys. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below about your top highlights for the year for Raid. And like I said, put your UMID in the comments below, and then we will be shipping off 5 of these prize packs to 5 winners. Best of luck to you guys. Have a great day. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video.